Okay, hi Jordan, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Well, listen, I think let's just kick things off, get the ball rolling. Um,
Cool.
Maybe just introduce yourself. I mean, you matriculated last year, but I think you won a couple of awards as well last year for performing. Just what were those awards? And yeah, just give us some background on your time at HBC.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've been at Heronbridge since, well, I was at Heronbridge since grade four. Yeah, matriculated last year. Um, yeah, I was involved in major production, vocal ensemble, all of that fun stuff. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And in at Valediction last year, if I'm not mistaken and I'm remembering it correctly, Michael Green and I both won like a joint
Yes.
award for, I think one was for drama and the other one was for musicality. So yeah, that was fun. That was cool. Yeah, years before that, I'd gotten like performer of the year award and that kind of thing. But yeah, like yeah.
Okay. And what are you doing now? I mean, you matriculated last year. What are you
um,
doing now?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm studying communication design at Open Window. So my degree consists of me doing graphic design, which is like posters and like
Mm,
all that kind of stuff, and motion design, which is like animating characters and making 2D characters move and that kind of thing, which is super fun. I actually really, really enjoy that. I didn't think I would. And then photography, which I'm also really enjoying at the moment. Yeah, you
okay.
can tell there's quite a bit of creativity involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, And I mean, just share quickly a little bit about your journey as an artist. When did you start performing? At what age did the arts really capture your attention? And yeah, I mean, you recently wrote and produced and compiled and all of those other big fancy words, your own song. Um, yeah, what's just maybe some background about the song after sharing, I suppose, your journey as an artist?
Cool. So um, when I was about 4 years old, I started doing ballet. Um, I was really, really into dancing. My mom used to say how I used to dance in the aisles of the shopping centers and irritate the living daylights out of her. Yeah, it started there, and then I got into singing and acting at the age of 12. And then my drama teacher said to me, if you're into singing, dancing, and acting, you can try and be a triple threat because that's like what people want these days. And I was like, oh yes. So so that's sort of been my goal since then. Yeah, and I've just been since then I've been doing competitions and shows. Have been part of major productions, obviously. Yeah, and I've just always really, really enjoyed the experience. um yeah, I'm never really the kind of person to be happy with like the point that I'm at with my abilities and things like that.
Yeah,
I think I'm always kind of hard on myself with that kind of thing. Like, um,
like for
I've still
performance.
got a lot of goals to reach. um, but yeah, it started at the age of 4, and yeah, I just really love performing. I love being on a stage. Um, Maybe I just like being the center of attention. I don't know.
Thank you.
Um, the extrovert in me. So yeah, the song came about. I was doing a Trinity Trinity Performing Arts exam, um, and one of the skills that I had to like exhibit, I suppose, was songwriting. Well, that's one of the ones I chose to show. And I'd never written a song before, except for like grade 6 with Miss Myberg. In music class. But other than that, no, I'd never written a song before. So yeah, it was a new experience for me. But it was pretty easy to get started with like a topic because at the you know I was always and still am struggling with like sort of the uncertainty of the future. being at this like mental crossroad and sort of not really knowing how to go forward. I've always been very scared of the prospect of having like an unhappy future, which is depressing as hell. But like, I don't know, I think matric was matric was kind of difficult. Like, school wasn't always an enjoyable experience. And as much as like my experience at Heronbridge taught me a lot, and like I gained a lot of like, I learned a lot of lessons at Heronbridge and stuff like that, and I'm very grateful for it. It was definitely not an easy thing for me. like I don't like science and maths and that kind of thing. I like the creative stuff.
So
the
like,
only lesson I'd enjoy was art.
yeah.
So I mean, like, I was always scared of sort of not enjoying my future after having that experience. And so Crossroads was really sort of born out of that sort of fear of not being able to do what I enjoy or something like that. So yeah, I've just felt paralyzed with indecision for a long time. But I think that sort of sorted itself out this year, because I'm doing performing and studying my degree sort of. So it's working out. But yeah, that's where the concept came from.
Oh, okay. And why did you choose to do it with friends? Because you did a whole collaboration with your friends. Why?
So this year I was this term actually, we have a creative development class at Open Window, which is the institution that I'm going to. And in this class they say to us that we need to create something that's like that's sort of there to entertain people during lockdown, and it must be based on these 3 words. And they gave us 3 words, and my 3 words were transition, colorful, and absorbing. So quite a weird bunch of words. But I thought Crossroads would work really, really well for the project. And then I thought, okay, how am I gonna sort of put this into something that I can like really like make a new project out of the song? So I decided to do a virtual choir. And I have a lot of really talented friends that I look up to. So I thought it would be best to include them and sort of just like make a cool new project out of it. Yeah, it was also really fun. Like, I was really excited about it. I think it's the project I enjoyed the most out of all of the projects I did this term.
Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, I've seen the video. It's freaking good. That's what I think. So can I go off and just share it with everybody, or?
So at the moment there's so if you share it, you need to say that it's from Open, like I submitted it at Open Window just to credit the university, because that idea, or the idea of the virtual choir, came about because of that actual project. So yeah, now that I've submitted it to them, it's technically part of like the institution and kind of like their property. So yeah, we just need to be careful about that.
Okay. I mean, you've been performing basically since you were tiny, but did you ever find difficulty in performing? Were there ever moments where it didn't just come naturally to you, where you got nervous or stage fright? And if you did, how did you deal with it? Did you ever get that advice to imagine the whole crowd naked?
Oh my gosh, I never actually got that advice. Actually, did I get that advice? I feel like maybe I saw it on TV somewhere and I was like, maybe I should try that. And then I was just too scared to.
It's scary. Don't do it.
Yeah. I can imagine. Oh my word. No. So, I used to get very nervous, especially with singing. And it wasn't sort of like a conscious thing, like, I'm nervous, I don't want to do this. Because I always wanted to perform. But there was this sort of subconscious nervousness in my head in my younger years of performing. And it really affected the way my voice sounded. I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced this, but it affected the way I sounded. And of course, the way I performed. I've always been a sort of, especially in my younger years, sort of like a meek like performer. I never really want to like do too much or like show too much or like, do something wrong. I was always scared of doing something wrong. And like my voice just didn't sound good back then. I watch videos of myself and it's just a nightmare. But I think I sort of through forcing myself to perform more and more, I got over that, and sort of that whole nervousness went away. You sort of get to know your body and the things you should and shouldn't before you sing, and the things that you know, like you just sort of you just sort of learn the way in which your brain and body work, and you know, doing a lot of performing, especially like I did a lot of like stuff at SA Champs, that kind of experience where you do lots and lots of performances like straight after each other in a whole week, it's like really, really good for your like nerves.
I can imagine. Flip. Why is it so important? Not how important is it, but why is it so important to hone that skill that you've decided to chase after?
I think you just learn so much from just being in classes and in lessons and being with mentors and coaches and things like that. It's not only about becoming a better performer and intensifying your passion for the arts and stuff like that, which is a big part of it, but I think you learn so much from the people you surround yourself with. I've learned, sorry, you hear people coughing in the background. I've learned so much. I've learned so much from just being around people in the performing arts, and how to conduct yourself, and how to sort of market yourself as a performer, and how to treat people, how to be humble, that kind of thing, which is also super important, along with obviously, you know, learning to work hard at the things that you are talented at or could be talented at, you know. And you also learn a lot about being humble, I think, through that process, because I mean, like in ballet, I would watch myself in the mirror and be like, this is terrible. and I think you sort of become a bit hypercritical of yourself, but maybe that's a good thing, because then you're always striving to be better. So yeah.
Okay. At what age did you decide, or at what age did you because I mean, you said earlier that you know, you were terrible, or your voice was terrible when you had the nerves, etc. But at what age? And obviously you had some training during the time, and yeah, at what age was that stage of training, and yeah, that sort of led to you now being to where you are?
That's a hard question. I think it sort of happened like in little spurts, like the one day, I think it was like 3 years ago, my ballet teacher had one of her friends come in from the Joburg Ballet Company, and she sort of helped teach one of the lessons. She's brilliant, but she's not she's not afraid of like saying something that might hurt your feelings. So yeah, she made a comment about my arms, like the way I was sort of using my arms in ballet. Because it was definitely one of my downfalls. My arms just didn't ever really look amazing in ballet. And she mentioned it, and she sort of said, like, when those arms are improved, then like her dancing will start to look good. And then I was like, crap, like my dancing doesn't sound good. I mean, look good, sound good.
I don't know, depends whether you got touch shoes on or not.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was a thing for me. I was like, no, I really, really need to work at this, because someone was like hard on me, you know. And then I think also, you know, every now and then it would become a thing of like, you know, I'd be at SA Champs, and you enter 21 items, and then you only get 3 medals, and they're not even solo medals, you know. And then you feel bad about yourself, but it pushes you, and you go, do I want to be sad about this and just leave it and not do essays next year, or do I want to work hard and aim to go and like get another like 7 awards next year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was also sort of like a big motivating factor. And then yeah, I think I think more recently it was about like, I don't want to lose this, because it's like the main thing I'm passionate about in life. So if I don't work at it, I will lose it, because no matter how passionate I am, if my skill goes down the drain, or if my machine isn't well oiled, the next time I might want to do an audition, then it's a problem. So I think that there's always these motivating factors that sort of get you to keep yourself going. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sure, that was quite the answer for a hard question.
Sorry.
So you did mention having role models and the people you surround yourself with and mentors. What sort of, how does traveling a journey with those people affect your art now? I mean, how has it affected your sort of performing career up until now, and how do you think it would affect it going forward?
Okay. So I always was very, very fortunate to have really, really amazing coaches and mentors. Sometimes you get people in the performing arts industry who are odd. But I always was surrounded by people who are very knowledgeable. But not only that, they were always so willing to help and so patient and so kind. That sort of really solidifies that whole idea of being humble in your talent. Those people are talented, and those people got to where they are because of the way that they conduct themselves and because of the way that they have marketed themselves throughout their career. I think it's really, really important to learn from people like that, because you sort of start to see how you should conduct yourself, and the ways that you should treat people in the industry, and the way that you should be patient and kind. And if you're in major production and there's a grade 8 who's like you don't really know their name, or they're just part of the general cast, it doesn't mean that they're less of a performer than you, or that they're less of a person or anything like that. Like, you still have to like treat them with patience and kindness and stuff like that. And I think I learned a lot of that kind of thing from my coaches and mentors. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. I mean, who were some of those coaches or mentors?
So when I started ballet, I was actually living in New Zealand. So that was at like Margaret Fairhead School of Dance or something. But anyway, that's not relevant. My recent coaches, I did drama at Upstage Concepts for quite a long time, from like the age of 12 until grade 11, with Jill Avis. She's a brilliant drama coach, and she sort of sparked my passion for drama. And really pushed me. I went to World Champs because of her, So I really, really appreciate her. And then my vocal coach, Harry, is his surname pronounced Durame? I don't know how to pronounce his surname. You'd think by now I'd know, because I've been with him since grade 8, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Harry, everyone just knows him as Harry. He's brilliant as well. My ballet teacher throughout my high school career was Liz van Skalkwyk. She's also amazing, like such a kind-hearted, wonderful person. And then now Gemma and Matt at Stageworks, who are just like incredible, like just absolutely amazing, super inspiring people.
I mean, Matt's the guy Matt Marinas was the guy who helped you to write Crossroads, is that right?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, what was that experience like?
That was a really cool experience. I knew that a lot of people had worked with him in writing songs, and that he like had amazing skills with producing and stuff like that. So I was super excited. I'd never written a song before, so I was also a bit nervous. But I went to my first lesson with 4 chords, and like a verse that I sort of thought up, which sounded completely different like to the song now, which is so weird. But yeah, he helped me sort of like produce the song and like find a sort of structure for the song and the way to write it like a pop song kind of thing with a bridge and a chorus and all of that. Yeah, and it was just a really cool experience. I really, really enjoyed those lessons. He's also super patient and so encouraging. Like I sometimes was like, maybe this is a really stupid idea, or maybe these lyrics actually suck. But he was always so encouraging about everything. So I think it makes me want to write songs more in the future, and I really want to write more with him. I want to do songwriting lessons at Stageworks again because of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there will be very good songs in the future. I mean, so HBC has got talent. I suppose it's the very first time we're doing this, obviously. And I don't know if you know this, but each of the finalists get to work with an expert in whatever field it is that they are auditioning in.
Wow.
So, I mean, what kind of advice, I suppose, and would you give to those finalists who are going to be working with professionals essentially, and how great are the benefits to working with someone who's spent quite a bit of their life in the industry?
So, with regards to advice, first of all, those people are like super lucky. Like, I kind of wish I was at Heron Bridge still. Like, that's an amazing opportunity. Yeah, wow. I think with advice on sort of how to sort of conduct yourself in that kind of situation. I mean, I'm by no means an expert in this, but I think that it's important to just be humble and yeah, just keeping that same idea of, you know, you probably wherever you go most of the time in the performing arts won't really ever be the most talented person in the room. And that's a really good thing because you can learn from those people, especially if they like, you know what they're doing. And you get to like work with like a professional producer or like, you know, a really cool choreographer or whatever it is, you know, that person, you can absorb so much gold from that kind of person. Yeah, and I just think that it's important to be confident, but also be like humble and also just, yeah, like respectful and also like fun. Like, don't like be yourself, duh, you know, everyone says that, but it's important because I think in high school no one really wants to be themselves fully. But yeah, just chill. Yeah. And then the other question was with regards to to how important that kind of interaction is. So I think that it's like really important because of the stuff that you can get out of that kind of person, that kind of success. You know, it doesn't just happen for no reason. That person is there because they worked really hard and because they got people's respect. Yeah, so I just think that it's important to like notice that and like sort of just immerse yourself in the experience and yeah, just get as much out of it as you can, I guess.
Okay, and then one final question. What would you say to someone who's almost sort of fizzling out in the performance or in the performing arts? I mean, someone who's questioning their abilities and the possible success that they could have in the performing arts and sort of losing their passion almost. What would you say to this person to reignite their passion for them? And sorry, just to add to that, okay. Have you ever gone through sort of a dip like that before?
That's a really good question. Okay. So I'm going to spill the tea a bit here.
Yes.
I didn't, in the very beginning of major production last year when we were doing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I was sort of not, I was always passionate about it, but I wasn't enjoying it as much as I was enjoying Fame and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and Beauty and the Beast. and I didn't really know why, but I think that once I sort of tried to look at the more positive side of things, it changed. And, like, at least I'm here, at least I'm performing, like this is what I want to do. This is my last chance to perform. At the time I thought it was my last chance, because I didn't think I was going to continue, which is part of the reason why I wrote Crossroads, because I was worried that I wouldn't perform anymore. But anyway, so I think that I did sort of, I wasn't not passionate, but I was just a little bit like less enthusiastic about it. But I got that back. I really did. And I think it's just about being grateful and realizing sort of the opportunity that you have is like a really great one, and that you're not entitled to anyone's time. The people that watch you on stage, you're not entitled to that. Like, you're extremely lucky to have that.
Yeah.
No matter how talented you are, no matter how much experience you've had, like, that's a privilege to have people watch you and listen to you and be silent while you do your thing. And I think in terms of sort of losing your passion, I think that somebody who is truly for performing arts won't really lose their passion as such, but I do think that it's maybe easy to become a little bit less enthusiastic about it because of certain circumstances or whatever it is. And I think it's important to just step back from the situation and just look at it and be like, okay, is this what I want to do? Maybe you're not enjoying it because of something completely different, like you don't like your teacher. Maybe you're in ballet class and all your crazy Russian ballet teacher does is tell you that you need to only eat soup, something whack like that. I don't know. I don't know of any ballet teachers that do that, but maybe. Or maybe you don't like the people that you're working with. Maybe someone in your group has ideas that you're not a fan of, and you don't know how to work with that, or something like that. Identify the problem and then come up with a solution. Step back from the situation and just reevaluate. And I think that's important. And always just to be humble about what's going on around you. Was there any other part of the question? I feel like I'm missing something.
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you got it.
Yeah. So that's all, just like being grateful, stepping back, evaluating the situation, and just practice. Maybe even just push through it. We go through hard times, are difficult patches, but it's important to like stick through it. And don't let people rejecting you or that kind of thing like discourage you, because I think that's where the real performers sort of come out of it. Once you've been rejected, you use that as motivation, kind of thing. And then in terms of like sort of not knowing if you are good enough for the performing arts, because I remember you mentioned that. That's something that I think a lot of performers struggle with. I definitely have. It's very easy to be like, well, I mean, nobody makes it in this industry, so like, why should I like go there? Even if I like it. And that's still something that I'm struggling with at the moment. So I don't know if my advice is going to be great here, but I think it's about noticing that hard work and passion is like 90% of it, and talent is like 10% of it. And so like as long as you just like keeping on going with something that you're enjoying and letting it take you where it takes you, and maybe even having a backup, like I have my degree as sort of like a backup. I want to go into the performing arts full time, but I have that sort of something else that I'm passionate about for the days when I can't make money through performing arts. And I think just don't be too hard on yourself, because it's really easy to be like, I sound like crap there, and like but I just think that it's important to like be easy on yourself, and also like try and expand yourself, extend yourself, do new things, get out of your comfort zone.
Okay, well, listen, thank you so very much for your time. I know it was
thank you so much for your time. I'm on it. No. No, it's cool. Everything's submitted now.
And I mean,
I'm good.
yeah, and really wish you all the best for the future. Maybe
So
even
much.
looking forward to seeing you on the big stage, the big screen, big stage. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, otherwise,
Yeah,
yeah.
we can hope.
Well, Jordyn, thanks again, and don't forget to tune in to HBC Got Talent on the 31st of July. We'll see you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll definitely tune in.